Have you ever applied to hundreds of jobs, heard absolutely nothing back, and blamed the ATS? Or maybe you've said, my resume never reached a human. The AI rejected me. If only I had the right keywords. As someone who leads talent for a technology company, I hear this almost every single week. But here's what might surprise you. Most resumes aren't rejected because of AI. They're rejected because they don't tell a compelling story. Today, I want to explain what recruiters actually look for in 2026, what AI is really doing behind the scenes, and how you can dramatically improve your chances of landing interviews. Let's start by clearing up one of the biggest myths in recruiting. People think AI is making hiring decisions, and it isn't. Yes, companies use applicant tracking systems. Yes, recruiters use AI. And yes, technology helps us process thousands of applications. But AI isn't deciding who gets hired. People still hire people. Recruiters still review resumes. Hiring managers still make the final decision. Technology simply helps us organize an overwhelming amount of information. And trust me, there has never been more information to organize. One of the biggest changes I've seen over the last couple of years is that candidates are applying to everything. I've spoken to people who have applied to 500, even 1,000 jobs. Then I ask one question: how many interviews have you received? Usually the answer is somewhere between 0 and 5. That tells me the problem isn't the ATS. The problem is strategy. Here's something I wish every job seeker understood. Your resume is not your biography. It's not supposed to document every job you've ever had. It's not a historical record. Your resume is a marketing document. Think about Apple. When Apple launches a new product, they don't spend an hour talking about every device they've ever built. They focus on what matters to today's customer. Your resume should do exactly the same thing. Everything on it should answer one question: why should we interview you for this role? If something doesn't help answer that question, it probably doesn't belong there. One mistake I see constantly is candidates trying to include everything. Every internship, every volunteer project, every software they've ever touched, every certification they've ever earned. More information doesn't make your resume stronger. Relevant information does. I'd much rather review one focus page than 3 pages filled with information that has nothing to do with the role you are applying to. Another misconception is that recruiters spend minutes carefully reading every resume, and we don't, at least not at first. We're scanning for clarity. Can I immediately understand who you are? Can I see what value you bring? Can I quickly connect your experience to the position I'm hiring for? If I have to work too hard to figure that out, you've already made the process more difficult. And when you're competing with hundreds of applicants, clarity becomes your biggest advantage. One of the easiest improvements you can make is your professional summary. Please stop writing things like, seeking an opportunity where I can utilize my skills. We already know your objective. Your objective is to get the job. Instead, tell me who you are. Tell me what problems you solve. Tell me what you're known for. If you're changing careers, explain why. If you're a software engineer passionate about AI, say that. If you're a product manager who specializes in healthcare technology, tell me that. Your summary should teach me how to read the rest of your resume. Now let's talk about AI. Can ChatGPT help you write your resume? Absolutely. Should ChatGPT write your entire resume? Absolutely not. AI is an incredible assistant. It can help identify important skills. It can rewrite bullet points. It can improve grammar. It can organize your ideas. But it shouldn't replace your own voice. Because here's something I've started noticing. The more resumes I read, the easier it becomes to recognize the ones written almost entirely by AI. Not because they're bad, but because they all sound exactly the same. Everyone is using AI to try to stand out, and they're accidentally making themselves sound identical. The same corporate language, the same polished phrases, the same buzzwords, the same structure. Ironically, the candidates who actually stand out are the ones who use AI as an editor, not as the author. Your story still has to sound like you. If there's one thing I want you to remember from today's episode, it's this. Your resume doesn't get you hired. It gets you a conversation. That's its job. So stop trying to outsmart AI. Stop trying to game the ATS. Instead, write a resume that makes it incredibly easy for another human being to understand who you are and why you're the right person for that role. Because no matter how much technology changes recruiting, one thing hasn't changed. People still hire people.